Oh, dear.
All right. Hey, team. Hopefully people can hear us.
Oh, I've got to turn my thing off. Hey, everyone.
Was that vibration close enough to the microphone?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. You could sit it on top. That'd be even better. Yeah. Loud and clear. Thanks, 84.
We're going to have to get Ben to do a sausage roll reveal at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's very excited. I did tell Digger that you had asked about it in the car.
Yeah, it's like, did I hear something about sausage?
They are less than 15 minutes out of the oven too.
They'd be sweating in there.
Punctured the alfoil so they're nice.
Oh yeah, you don't want sweat.
You're an expert.
Yep.
All right. We ready to go?
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 102 of Here We Crow. It's been a big couple of weeks. Welcome back. We've got a lot to talk about tonight, but before we begin, I'll introduce everyone in the room. Sam, hello.
Hello, Lauren.
Hi, Ben.
Hey, Lauren.
And we had Danless tonight. He's in Sydney on a work trip.
Yeah, they can see him. We've got a camera on him.
Oh, sorry, there he is at the Opera House. Of course, we have a very special guest tonight, and our very special guest happens to be a regular listener of the pod and also family of the pod. His name is Steve Digger Newman, father of Maddie Newman from the Crows AFLW team. Welcome, Steve.
Oh, all the best, everyone. Absolute pleasure to be here.
If someone can tally how many times Steve says all the best tonight,
Yeah.
I would love that. Paula, I'm giving you that job.
I'm being monitored. It's a bit like home release. People are monitoring my movements as we speak.
Thanks very much for coming, Digger. Really appreciate it. You're going to help us, pack down the women's game and also talk to us a bit about club culture tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
Because that's something that we need to discuss. Other than that, we're going to talk about the AFLW game, obviously. The fantastic win, another showdown in the bag for the Crows girls. And also, we're going to talk about some trade whispers.
Whispers.
Things happening.
Yeah, we've got all the hot goss.
Trade whispers. And, or trade slop, as we love to call it. The piggies are in the trough.
Yeah, that's right.
And also, I guess we'll talk about the Sydney game that that was a while ago.
Does anyone care about that still?
Yeah, let us know. We've got some votes. Yeah, slop quirky. The slop's coming.
Yeah.
And, all of the above. So anyway, let's get on with it. What's that buzzing?
I don't know. That's your mic, I think.
Oh, no.
Is it your
All right,
phone,
press
maybe?
the button.
What about Ben's stats?
Oh, sorry, 102.
Thanks, Sam.
Give us the stats, Ben. Sorry.
102.
Sorry, Ben, I forgot how everything works.
No, that's all right. Debut player, one Daryl Wintle.
Say it again.
Daryl Wintle.
Daryl Wintle.
Do you remember them?
He was...
I'm thinking like a sandy-haired individual, but I may be right off the mark.
I think the picture I saw was pretty brunette.
There you go.
We actually should, Ben, at some point start putting up the pictures of the
That'd be
debutantes on the thing.
We could do that.
We really could, yeah.
What was his name again?
Darren.
Maybe a spelling.
So everyone's favourite player, Daryl Wintle. So
Daryl. Yeah, right. Okay.
Yep. 3 games, 99 to 99. But he did play 186 games with North Adelaide and was captain from 2002. So,
look at this guy.
So there you go.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
All right. Okay. We'll put him up.
Definitely got a face.
Yeah. Oh, no. I didn't start recording. Oh, no.
Oh, God. So the audio.
Yes.
You have to download that from YouTube.
Yeah.
Sam hasn't started recording the audition.
No.
So
my parents are going to be filthy because they were
no.
only listening to the podcast this
no.
week,
You
going
have
on
to
a
sort
big
that
drive. Yeah.
sorry, Ben, continue.
All
So
right, well,
chat Daryl Wintle.
Can we put my stat nearer the end of the pod next time? So we've got some of these things sorted out.
Daryl Wintle was our 102nd debutant. Continue.
Yeah, okay, very good. Now, 2002, the season that was. So we've got a bit of a quiz again. Where do we think we finished the minor round in 2002?
9th. No.
Everyone can have a go.
10th.
3rd, Josh says.
It was 3rd.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. That's
Josh is good at these.
Yeah, Josh is very good.
So
What
there
are
you
you?
go.
Some sort of weird encyclopedia
Yeah,
of crows
He's good.
finishing?
What year are we again?
02,
Oh, yeah.
as in 102.
What happens when we get up to 2024?
Yeah, I don't know. What I'm even more worried about is we're running out of years for date of birth. So
Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Anyway, so club champ, who do you think was that for 02?
Prosciutto.
Ex-coach or assistant coach?
Assistant coach.
I
Nathan Bassett.
I think he's involved in the finals this year.
Nathan Bassett?
No. Ben Hart.
Oh,
Benny Hart.
Because he's with
Forgot all about
he's
him.
with GWS now, isn't he?
Is he?
yeah, I think so.
Rather unfortunate with the orange hair and orange club
Yeah,
polo.
yeah. Well, luckily they've got the charcoal Guernsey this week, so they should be all right. So, leading goal kicker for 02. And I'll say it is not someone who's previously been mentioned as our leading goal kicker.
Okay, well, that narrows it
Gets
down.
rid of a few, yep.
John Cock.
Brett Burton.
Oh,
Birdman.
wow.
Yeah,
Gee.
so 51 goals that year.
Everyone
we've-
said Welsh. No, the Birdman.
We finished 3rd. Melbourne finished 6th. So where did you reckon we played our home final against Melbourne?
Yes.
Marvel.
Close. It was contractually they needed to play it at the MCG.
Yeah.
Is that when we won?
We did beat Melbourne.
Yeah,
yes.
beat Melbourne and a night game, and I think it was extremely high scoring. And I believe Brian Binky went mad early in the game and kicked at least 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, right.
You've exhausted my research there. So, yep. But yes, so there you go. I think we got knocked out eventually by Collingwood in that final series. All Australians, we had 2 All Australians.
Prosciutto.
Yep.
Ben Hart.
Yep.
Oh, there
Nice
you go.
work. Straight out.
Was that
Now-
the Collingwood game where there was a hold on the arm by Benny Rutten?
No, that
And
was
they kicked
later.
on.
That was late. I reckon that was like 2009 or something like that. I
Might have
reckon
been. I think we got out to a lead, then they got back into a lead or something. I'm not.
that was the
Not
right
sure.
in front of me.
I think.
the right in front of me.
Yes, that's right.
Famous game, wasn't it?
It was. That's the night I threw the remote control at a beanbag, missed it, hit the window.
From what
Yeah.
I was reading before, I think we lost both Tyson Edwards and McLeod to injury throughout the game. So,
day game, absolutely.
So that didn't help. Now, the last bit of the quiz, bit different this question. We had some quite interesting recruits that year. So
Okay.
there's 4 recruits. I don't expect you to get them all, but even if you get one of the 4 recruits we had in 2002,
Rory Sloane.
that's a bit before his time.
Oh.
Fitzy.
These are trades. Fitzy. There you go. There you go. So it was
Wasn't Matty Bode, was it?
no, it wasn't, but it was Fitzgerald, Daniel Shell,
Oh,
Ben
yeah.
I'll
Nelson.
never get that. Who?
Yeah,
Shell.
he was a goal kicker.
Yeah,
old
Shell,
Daniel
Shell was all right.
And
yeah.
he went back to Centrals, didn't he, and kicked
Yeah.
heaps of goals.
Oh,
for your
wait. I
team.
do know that name.
Yeah.
So there you
now
go.
that you say that.
And
Go you dogs.
Back in the finals, finally.
last but not least, Chris Massey.
Oh, of course. Well, Dan would have got that.
Dan
He
would
was
have
here.
got that for
So
sure.
there you go. So
Good
that
old Chai PT.
there you go. That was the season of 2002. Last little bit is born in 02. Reasonably topical. Sam Berry. Thilthorpe.
Yep.
How about that? Luke Pedler.
Oh, yeah.
Braden Cook, Patrick Parnell, and James Borlase. So a fair few of those recently re-signed.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And we will be talking about that
I was,
a little bit later.
I was lucky enough to. You mentioned Fitzy earlier, and I played in a losing grand final against Fitzy before he got drafted. I've had psychological treatment ever since. But when he was playing for the Cockadivers and I was playing for the Emus, 2 great names of 2 great clubs. But with Braden Cook, his dad played for Happy Valley, and he was an absolute gun. And so I had an opportunity to play him as well.
Yeah, right.
And he used to give me a bath.
If anyone wasn't aware, Steve is actually a club legend down at the Morphevale Emus. How many games did you play for the Emus, Steve?
I was the first one to get to 300.
I remember that day. I remember it very well. What a day it was.
A couple of Southern covers of Coke and Coke that night. And the mug, I believe. But anyway, there you go.
Good times. Good times. Spent a lot of my childhood watching you play footy.
Had hair.
Anyway.
No, it said, I believe Thilthorpe was born in a manger.
Oh, God. Alrighty.
Pre-game.
Let's go.
Cool drinks.
And, of course, this is where I ask you, what's pumping you up this week?
And I tell you, I don't have anything, like usual.
Moving on. Ben, I'll let Steve, you can think on this because I didn't warn you in advance. What's pumping you up this week? I'll let you have a think while Ben tells me what's pumping him up.
All right. Well, 11
Usually
days.
Ben has something boring.
Thanks, Sam. 11 days till the City Debate.
Oh, 11 days?
11 days. And
That has come up quick.
you better believe my training has been spectacular.
Oh,
I bet.
really?
No. What
about those new shoes?
It's like I've been tapering my entire training sessions. So, well, no, the new shoes have been working a treat. I am getting so much less tib-ant pain.
Oh, that's
Tib-ant.
Tib-ant. Tibialis anterior.
How many times have you been whistled at out the car window?
I haven't. But
nice shoes, pal.
well, look. What has also not happened is I have not
Who's
been run
this man?
over because people have seen me from a mile away. So,
The old pink shoes, have you?
no,
Close.
they're like
Minus one.
rainbow,
Like a rainbow
tennis
paddle
balls.
pop.
Rainbow tennis balls.
So,
Give us a spell.
look, when you got size 13 feet, you just take whatever shoes are in stock. So,
Yep.
and these, yes, they're very comfortable and they do a great job. I managed this morning to do 10 kilometres.
Right.
I'm still alive, so I'll take that.
Nice.
That explains why you took 3/4 an hour to get up the stairs.
Yeah. No, I got here 30 minutes before we had to start. And, yeah.
Oh, well, I can't wait for that. So what is the actual date of
It's
the
the
City
Sunday
Debate?
the 15th. And it is the 50th running of the City Debate. So.
Right.
Do we need to come out with a big sign, like here we crow Ben or something like that?
Well, it would help. Just
they
don't
run-
worry about getting there early. I'll be a while before I get to the finish line.
This shows my ignorance. Do you run down Anzac Highway?
Yes.
Oh, you run past my house. We could all gather.
Oh,
Oh,
there you go.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's just go out the front of Sam's.
Actually, your house is before you turn onto Brighton. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I would run past
All right.
your house.
Oh,
It's a
and-
date.
Geez, I'll be looking great. by
Oh
the time
yeah,
we get
you
to
will.
that.
Yeah, Woo, go Ben. Also, we do have some breaking news. Apparently, midweek tackle have said that Keane is staying.
Yeah, I thought we knew that.
There you go.
Did we? No.
Yeah. Well, they said in the media that he'd told like several players that he was staying.
Oh right. Okay.
So I don't know why it kept coming up, but
Anyway, we got some
we're
slop.
tight on list spots at the moment. We'll have to talk about that.
Quirky said we got some slop, so there needed to be.
Slop alert.
We need a button for the slop
We
alert.
do. We need a pig noise or something. Muddy pig noise.
Jeez,
That is-
excuse me.
That is not the slot
Not-
button. I don't think it should be. Well, Ben,
Gotta
that's
squeeze
great.
one in.
I'm
No, well done,
I'm
Ben.
pumped on your behalf.
And with our probable fortnightly things, I will have, by the time we record next, I will have hopefully survived it.
Yeah.
we'll see
hopefully.
if we're recording on a Monday. This week, what is pumping me up is the fact that Bench Press released a new album on my birthday, and they're also playing at the Metro in 2 weeks,
Yeah, I'm keen to go.
which they actually announced at the end of July, and I didn't even know.
No,
I got told today.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I
how
need
much
to
I'm-
find a better way of finding when these bands are going to be anywhere. Why is it so difficult these days?
Well, it's not if you follow them on Instagram, but
I
I've
swear I still don't see shit.
Well, I don't know. Like I've just logged out of one of my accounts, so I just missed it. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that and Mindsnet this week. So that's what's pumping me up. Quirky's just said the Nick Cave album's pumping him up.
Yeah, I haven't listened to that yet.
Me
Have you?
either. No.
I will though. I don't mind Nick Cave.
Yeah.
Karungabin got announced for you. Probably not your cup of tea, but for WOMAD, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah.
Lizzie just reminded me about that. I've never actually been to WOMAD before, but
Good
might
luck.
go this year. Yeah, I know. It's pretty cheap from what I've heard.
Yeah, so cheap.
Mm.
All right, Steve, what's pumping you up this week? You got
Oh,
something?
2 things. Casey May and the Lovers have got another gig coming
Oh,
up
yes.
in November.
When are they going to play in Adelaide?
I'm not sure. They're in Byron Bay. If you're anywhere up there, go and catch them. But Paula and I are going to see Symphony at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I like the sound of it. Symphony.
Symphony.
It's essentially a orchestra that comes on and pumps out modern classics.
Yeah.
So like Firestarter, etc.
Yeah. And
you just go along and drink. So Paul and I have decided to keep your fluids up and go along and have a listen.
That sounds amazing. When is that?
12th of September or something similar. 13th, Friday the 13th, 7 o'clock. You can book your tickets through Tickets.
Dig is a promoter.
Yeah, exactly. But I believe we're going a reserve, whatever that means.
Ooh.
Oh,
which I
that's
think
fancy.
means we don't have to stand up because we're old people.
Yeah, well, that does get tiring after a while.
Maybe I'll give you a review afterwards.
Well, it's all happening, isn't it? Everyone's pumped.
Yes.
And do you know what's pumping me up?
What?
A showdown win.
Yeah, I know.
You.
That's a good one.
The ladies are back, baby, and we have taken down Port at their home ground. I couldn't attend purely for the fact that I am scarred from the men's showdown. I couldn't go to Alberton. But you went to Alberton, Steve. How was
right
the
there.
atmosphere down there? How's the
look,
rivalry down there?
Actually, I'll tell you what, there's more tattoos than teeth. But,
Oh, you can't say that.
No.
You can't say that, Josh Rochelle. I mean, what?
no, what I can say is that it made me ache a little bit for the Crows to have a home venue because the atmosphere was really good, and Port, take the hat off to them, they had a great job of pre-game, during game, all that sort of gear. And their facilities down there are fantastic.
They are very good.
How good's the precinct? It's actually great.
Oh, it's brilliant. Unfortunately, my workplace is the banking partner for Port Power. So I had to go down there for work about a month ago and had a tour through their facilities. They are absolutely brilliant. So, as I said, makes you want the Crows to get their act together quickly, which I know they're trying to do. But yeah, great atmosphere down there, and even better to come away from a win and while they were wearing the prison bars.
Yes. And the Crows did win that one, 7 goals, 749 to 5 goals, 535. Port Adelaide, obviously, still kind of up and coming in the competition, being a new team, but I did think they improved significantly. They did pressure us quite a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but the Crows, as usual, dominated. And yeah, I thought it was a good watch. What did you think, Ben? Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did watch it. Their pressure was good, and they, particularly as we were going forward, they took a lot of intercept marks. I think where we potentially kept them in it for a lot longer was our inefficiency in terms of converting time up forwards to actually getting on the scoreboard. So which was a bit of what we probably meant we didn't get all the way last year as well. So having said that, we didn't have Gould up there, so missing a bit of a target. Maybe there's a few less intercept marks taken if we've got a bigger target to go for it.
Eloise Jones did do her best, though, trying to take as many speckies as she could.
She's great.
Oh, there was that one she nearly had a hold of, and it just somehow slipped out into the Port players' hands. But I thought, geez, that was mark of the year straight up, round one.
Yep.
Amazing. Speaking of that, Goldie being injured, now you're close to Tia Charlton. How's she going? She's coming back this week. She's got half a game in her, they reckon.
Yeah, so I know that she got through training all week. So
excellent.
It's a thumbs up for consideration. That's probably the rest is in the vault.
Fantastic. Well, I'm not going to press the vault buttons, so it's all good. What I did think, though, is that I think the shit thing about the women's game is because they're so short, it did take the Crows a bit longer to settle into their game. I thought we were a little bit fumbly in that first half, which could have been bad had Port kind of run over the top of us a little bit there, but they didn't manage it.
Maybe we benefited from going with the breeze for the first quarter.
Yeah,
which meant
absolutely.
They couldn't get quite the run on they might have otherwise.
I really do want to give a big rap to Jess Allen for her first season with the Crows. She was absolutely immense in the ruck. Was it her first season, isn't it?
It's her second season,
So
but first season as
in
the prime ruck with McKinnon going.
That's right. Sorry, Jess. But I thought she was amazing. Incredible job in that position.
She was great, but the Port ruckman left a little bit to be desired, I thought. She was
spewing because I put her in my fantasy team.
She was bloody hopeless.
Was that Matilda Schultz?
Was she young or something? Because she was.
Well, she actually, it was her first year last year, but she dominated for her first year.
Oh, really?
Last year. So
that's interesting. So that's a good sign then.
She has credibility.
Oh, right. See, I didn't realise that. I just presumed she must have been like first game or something.
And I think we did actually lose the hit outs, I think.
Oh, didn't? No. Yeah. Did she? Well, Jess Allen had like 30.
Yeah, she
was there
had
more
30.
than that?
I think what
She kept giving away free kicks is why I made my comment.
yeah. And I think the word on the street, at least physically, is that the Port Ruckman had taken it to the next level, like put a lot of size on.
Mm-hmm.
So whether that's something that she's just going to take some time to get used to being a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
But I know that the Crows are worried about their ruck dominance.
Oh,
So
for sure.
Jalen did a fantastic job.
Yeah, very good.
So hit outs were 39 to 30.
Yeah. Okay.
39 to 30. Yeah,
So
right. Okay.
We had 30.
Yeah,
So
okay.
she must have had all of our hit outs.
Yeah, right.
So.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. I'll take her back. Well, actually, no, I don't. She gave away a lot of dumb free kicks.
Oh, yeah, particularly their backup ruckman. I think Port, particularly up forward, she was got a bit panicky.
Oh, is that who it was? Okay.
Yeah.
So I think their main ruckman wasn't the one necessarily on her in the forward 50 who
All right,
did
maybe
a lot
take
of,
away all of what I've said
lot
about
of
ruck.
because she sort of tried to protect space
Yeah.
and no one could actually get to the ball then, which is a pretty clear free kick.
We had a lot of handy free kicks. Didn't take advantage of them all, but
No.
it would have been an interesting game if we weren't getting quite that run there. Would have made things a little bit closer, I reckon.
Yeah, I think the ruck infringements in front were pretty there, but
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is
you would
which
say
is
that, though.
which is surprising for a ruck infringement because normally it's like
Yeah, that's
so who's
right.
that for? So,
Yeah, exactly.
but
yeah.
it looked fairly there.
Marinoff was fairly immense
Prolific.
again. Prolific.
Yeah. But he's got Marinoff is hitting targets way more now. Rather than blazing away, has developed composure. She's a force. I think that's like the big thing. Like as soon as those girls get that composure, which I didn't think we kind of didn't have really in that game for a lot of it. But once that kind of settles in, we're going to be pretty hard to beat, I
She's
think.
taking a few steps with the ball and not just getting it and kicking it straight away now,
Yeah.
I think, Marinoff. So she's going to hit a few more targets that way.
And obviously the dynamic duo of Noffy and Hatchie absolutely dominated in the midfield once again.
Bit
Huge
more
games.
forwards for Hatchie this week.
A little bit, yeah.
Very much so.
I like
Yeah.
Prowse too.
Prowse,
good.
fantastic. Now, you gave us the eye on Prowse back before she was drafted. You actually introduced us to her parents
That's
at a
right.
game.
Yeah.
Said one to watch, and boy, is she one to watch.
She is, and the weird part is that her dad and I work together. So we have pre-selections every Thursday, picking our own team,
Yeah.
and then the team comes out. But no, she's an absolute ripper. She loves the contest, and her skill development over the last 12 months has been awesome. So, I think she's going to be one of those players that we'll look back on in a few years' time. and
Absolutely.
she'll be up the top.
What I love
Definitely.
about Zoe is her staunch walk across the ground. Like, that is a chick you do not want to fuck with. She's like,
She's handing them out.
another one, and I've seen her name mentioned in the chat, and she definitely is amongst my votes somewhere, is Sarah Goodwin. Really, really clean skills, Sarah, and she managed to kind of make her way out of the pack, bit of speed, hitting her targets. Really, I can't wait to see what she does in the future.
I thought one player who was quiet compared to what they were producing last year was Kelly. I didn't.
Yeah,
have
she
the
was-
same,
she
didn't
was
have
a
the
bit.
same impact.
She got the
as
ball in the
previous
third
week.
quarter, and I was like, I don't
Where
feel
have
like
you
I
been?
swear. Yeah, did you
Yeah.
play the first half?
I think she did play. So
Yeah.
Arm is really heavily strapped.
It is. I did notice
like
that too.
super heavy strapped.
Yeah.
I think too, though, on the day, because of the way the wind was blowing, you could find yourself out of the play a lot if you were playing on one side of the ground.
I think that is one thing we have to remember. It was so bloody windy that night.
It didn't come across on the replay, but it was howling.
Yeah.
So it was stuck on that outer side a lot.
Yeah. Paula's just mentioned Brooke Tonnen as well.
Oh, yeah, she was good.
She got kind of thrown into the forward line. I don't think that's her normal position, is it?
I thought because she used to play for Norwood and she was the one kicking light bags.
No, she
forward.
came from Glenelg.
Well, there you go. That's close.
Yeah, it's a suburb in Adelaide. She's from the southeast actually, and played in the back line predominantly because her and Mads used to swap off a halfback flank off the bench, and so I thought it was a good move, putting her forward. but even better move, chucking bids up there
Yes, that was.
in the second half just made a difference.
Now that's a positional change for Chelbo.
It is.
Apparently, she was drafted as a forward. She got thrown into defence for the Crows, but now obviously they're shuffling the magnets around a bit.
But Gould
What's
can
your
come
thoughts
back.
on that? Because you're Chelbo's biggest fan.
Yeah, but I want Chelbo with the ball 20 times, not 7.
Well, I think it certainly made sense in that was it the third quarter they threw up there when we had the wind, so it was going to be coming down a lot more often, so a lot more opportunities.
12 touches isn't enough for my liking from Fidel.
Right,
So,
jeez.
yeah.
Right, fair enough.
I can't give her an award.
Bit
if
harsh
she
on
only
your
gets
favourite
12.
player.
No, she did kick a goal though. No, she's still my favourite. I just want her playing down back.
All right. Well,
Gould will be back this week, won't she?
she's a test.
Okay.
I think we've got Goldie as a test. We've got Tia as a test, but I think Phil Harper said she was going to play at least a half of footy, whether that's in the actual game or the what is it? They're having like a
test
practice.
as well. So what they do is...
Oh yes, Money's having a test too.
Having a test. If you don't play in the team, what happens is that last week, 3 of them flew to Melbourne and played in a combined game with all of the Melbourne sides.
Oh, okay.
Leftover players.
That's cool.
And this week, they're all going to Perth, and on the Saturday, I think it is, because the Crows are playing on Sunday. On the Saturday, whoever's not picked and is available plays in what they call a scrimmage match, and I presume it'll be West Coast and Fremantle's additional players playing someone.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
That's cool. Now, before we get to the votes, actually, it would be remiss of me to not mention Madison Newman, who also had a pretty solid game. Now, give us your constructive criticism on Maddie's game.
Might not be able to go home.
No, I thought she played really well. I didn't think she had the ball quite enough, although she did get 19 disposals, so she had it a little bit.
Yeah, we had a bit of a chat about it last night, and loved her contested ball work.
Yeah,
because
very
that's
good.
what she's been working on.
Yeah.
And surprisingly, her kicking wasn't as good as normal. So
Let's blame the wind.
That's a good sign, because if that's your problem and it's still your strength, well then I think she's going all right. So yeah, she was happy with the game, but
Well, she's playing a
clean
tough
up.
position in the wing.
Oh yeah, it's either can be a bit of a starvation corner sometimes if
sure.
it's on the other side, but yeah, a good start by the big Mads.
I think like the thing about Maddie is that once the ball's in her hands, you can't definitely trust what she's going to do with it, which is, very positive in my eyes. It's going to go hit a target, and she's got such a leg on her, which I'm sure she gets from you.
Oh, possibly.
Possibly. Anyway, let's get into some votes.
Just in defence of Ben, Corey did put in there that Brooke kicked 7 one night for Glenelg
Okay.
at the parade.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. I was clawing back a little bit of credibility. That's good.
That's all right. I went with all that ruck gear earlier on, don't worry.
I thought she'd kick the bag at one stage.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. I'll just yell out Dan's.
Also, it was
Oh,
disappointing seeing Piper Window playing for Port too, by the way.
Of course.
Yeah, that wasn't fun.
She didn't have the best game fantasy-wise, though, so it's fine.
No, my fantasy
Their
team was
other
a mess.
debutant Goody was pretty impressive as
Oh
well.
yeah, she was
well,
good.
she got the rising star.
Yeah.
Guess who was standing here?
Oh,
Oh really?
Bit of a chuckle about the last one.
Oh,
Standing her. No, they had a good duel actually.
yeah, no, it's good. Well, it's good when you've got. They're on par. I think Port, they're kind of like I said before, they're kind of getting on. They're on par now. They're kind of competing properly, and that's what you want. We don't want to roll over them every time. Want a bit of a challenge.
And I met Goody a couple of years ago because she came from Woodville West Torrens, and when I went and did some culture work with the program down there with Narelle Smith, she was pumping her tyres up back then, saying, she's going to be really good.
Yeah.
And she is.
Diggy, can I ask this? I don't know how you will be able to answer this. Is there obviously the Crows have had a reasonable leg up into the competition, like with access to some pretty damn good players over the first few years. Is the feeling that the competition's sort of evening up a lot more now, or is there still a fair gap between the best and worst?
No, I reckon it's closed very quickly.
Yeah.
We were talking about, I talked about Tim Prowse before. We were talking before the game and saying, because the Crows played Port Adelaide in Port Augusta,
Yep.
and I said to Tim, I wouldn't be taking anything out of that game. I reckon they would have held right back, and that's what I think we saw on Saturday night.
Yeah.
The gap's considerably closer.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for Port, they've got this young kid called Lauren Young. She's done two knees in 3 years.
Yeah.
I've not seen a better player So when she gets on the park, that gap's going to close really quickly.
Yeah.
She's elite.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we've got another elite midfielder in Brooke Boylo as well. So,
Yep, she's a cracker.
yep.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, we're going to go into these votes. I'm going to yell Dan's out while he's not here. He's got 3 for Noff, 2 for Hatchie, and 1 for Chelsea Randall, who we didn't even mention, but she played an immense game.
Yeah, she was good too.
She was amazing. She's number 1, our most courageous player in my eyes. Just absolutely just hammering it every time. Absolutely love her. Sam, who you got?
I went 3 for Marinoff, 2 for Jones, and 1 for Prowse.
Oh, okay. No, don't mind it. Steve, who you got?
I went.
Oh, hang on.
Are we doing
Could
in
Ben
reverse
handle
order?
this?
Because he looks like he's got.
We're doing a 3, 2, 1.
My name's actually on the sheet.
Oh, shit.
We've got a 3, 2, 1.
Can't get me with
You wanna
those
do it in reverse?
curveballs anymore, Sam.
You want to confuse
I'll help
Ben?
him out. No, I'll help him out and do it in 3, 2, 1. I went for Jalen. Jess
Yep.
Allen is the 3 votes. Ebony Marinoff the 2. And I slid Chelsea Bedell in for 1.
Oh, okay.
I thought she was just so important.
Yep, for sure.
She's always important.
All right.
No, she's your favourite.
Well, I've also got 3 for Jalen. I gave it to Jess over Ebony just because I thought, new position.
Eben does it every week.
And that, we're used to that from Eb, but I also gave Eb 2. And I gave Hatchie 1. Classic Cruise AFLW votes. Soldiers on.
What about Ben?
Oh, Ben. Sorry, Ben, you're so busy typing over there. I forgot all about you.
I'm a bit of a mix of you all. So I went Marinoff first, Allen second, and Hatchard third.
Alrighty.
Soldier on, soldier on, soldier on.
All right, this was actually hard for me because I've got my special mentions of Chelsea Randall, Madison Newman, Eloise Jones, and also Stevie Lee Thompson. Just by the way, Stevie Lee and Hatchie playing the 75th game.
Well done.
Very, very great game. Good games from all of them, but I did give the Sarah Allen Soldiers on to Sarah Goodwin.
Yes, so did I.
You did too?
Yes.
Who have you got, Steve?
Copy paste there.
Oh, there you go. Dan got? He's got Prowse. All right, Ben, you ready?
Yes, I am. Yes, thank you. I went with Eloise Jones. I thought crashing packs, 8 tackles.
Yep, very
soldiered
good.
on strongly.
Don't worry,
Definitely.
Jakey Poo. I had Jones in for in my votes. He said
Yeah.
Jones stiff. Her impact was big.
It is stiff, Jake. But look, I tell you what, a lot of the girls played really good game on Saturday. So
No, they
it's
did.
hard.
The votes were actually hard.
The
I
women's
had
votes
a
are
fair
harder
list.
than the men's.
Yeah, especially when you don't just auto put in Marinoff and Hatchard when
Yeah.
they have 30.
I think I'm
or
going to steer
25.
away from that.
Well, we did it
this
kind of
season.
last year. We were very harsh, remember?
Yeah.
Was it like, I used to always accuse you
Except
of hating.
Ebony still won.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was hard not to, though.
Well, she did do pretty well.
Yeah, she did. Remember when Ben gave her Soldiers on and she had 30?
Yeah. I don't know if
that's
that's...
harsh.
Completely. No, I gave her the votes and the songs.
Yeah.
He doubled up.
Flies in
We
my
didn't know that
face.
was a rule.
Well,
but-
she was the best on the ground and she really soldiered on. So
Absolutely. One thing I will say is I'm forming strong relationships with Eloise Jones and her family,
Yeah.
just in case she wins 50 grand for Mark of the Year.
Yeah,
Oh, well,
she's certainly
yeah,
having
absolutely.
a crack. That's for sure.
Yeah, did you see the training photo they posted today of her up on the training, taking the big specky up on the
Yeah, right.
mat? She's going to get one.
I just like the fact that she's sort of just got that little bit of X factor up there. I think moving her forward's been great.
Yeah.
She's not always clean. She makes mistakes, but I like it.
She's just tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think she's also got, out of all of the women in the AFL, I think she's got the most natural ability to take a high mark as an elite.
Yeah.
It looks.
She's the McAdam of the women's.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? Or?
Barely. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, moving on.
What are we doing next? Your segment?
My segment? Go
on.
Yeah, we could do that. Why not? Oh, my God.
Sorry, I'm not doing any buttons. I'm not
That's
Dan
okay.
tonight.
Get into Rowan Jarman.
Good things. I didn't actually hear this, but I've been told reliably that the fire alarm went off at the showdown, and I've put this in the goods because apparently it killed Port Running Out and Never Tear Us Apart. So in my mind, that's a very good thing.
Absolute bonus.
Brilliant.
It was ear piercing, according to Digger, so I like that. The winner of AFL Fantasy was Selby's brother-in-law. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
You know Selby, who we had on, the fantasy expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, so his brother-in-law was who won
Has
fantasy
a
this
new
year.
Hilux.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, fairly handy fantasy players
And
in
he's
that
from,
family.
it sounded like he was from England, and the guy who came second was from England.
Yeah.
So they both-
England?
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly
That's
way
a
better.
rot.
Yeah. Hearing him talk through what it like that last round just sounds stressful. I don't think I'm ever going to be good enough to be in the running, but that just sounded awful.
Yeah, well, the guy who came second was leading for so many rounds and then had some bad luck happen. There was the Heaney out and all that stuff. So,
Yeah.
What did he actually win?
Toyota Hilux.
Oh, wow.
Well, how does he get that over to England?
No, he's in
No,
WA.
he's settled in Australia.
It's like, what?
Well, I'm not sure if you're up for a very short and exciting story.
Yeah.
But last year, not the season we've just had, but the year before, I won a footy tipping competition, $2,000 and a share of a horse.
Oh,
What?
yeah, right.
Share of a horse?
Southern Shooter.
Southern Shooter.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the horse's name?
Yeah.
Did
that's
it-
the
won
horse's name.
anything?
Has it run?
It's had a win and about 4/3 and 5/5 and 12 lasts or something.
Well,
Sounds
I've got a
familiar,
little
actually.
short story myself. Last year I might have won the fantasy for Huey Crow. And I got nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You got the pleasure of winning.
Yeah, I got bagged for every time I mentioned it. So.
We'll get into the AFLW fantasy later, Ben, so it's all good. All right, what else
and
you got,
and we
Sam?
do have the results of who won our league as well.
Oh, yeah. We should get onto that.
I was
You
just
on
looking up.
sports bet?
I was just looking up Digger's horse. Ran on the 3rd of July. Came 11th of 14. So not
Yeah,
its
that's
strongest
right.
attempt, but that's
they've got
okay.
a spell after that.
Yeah.
And surely you'd have to have as a good that we've got sausage rolls on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, we might need to crack them out at some point.
Yeah,
I
we're going
reckon.
to do the sausage roll reveal.
Yeah,
Exactly.
but the best thing, I don't know if you guys are caught up on this, but have you seen the Aussie runner? Gout?
Yeah, gout.
Yeah, good. That's I only caught up on that
bullet.
like in the last couple of weeks, and then followed him running. Was it last week?
Yeah.
He ran in the under 18s or under 16s?
Under 20.
He's
Under
like-
20s.
He's
Yeah.
only like 16, isn't he? Or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. He's only 16. Oh, is he 16? Oh, he's young.
well, he's young,
17.
yeah.
I don't know, and he's very young.
18. But he's young, yeah.
And yeah, he looks fantastic. So it's pretty amazing to have a very quick Australian runner.
Did he come second in the 200 final? I
He
think?
did, yeah, and was coming at the
Oh,
winner
yeah.
right at the end. Yeah,
if
he's
it was
super
a
strong.
220 metre race, he wins.
Yeah,
We haven't had a decent male runner since Shervo.
I mean, Paul,
Is he more aerodynamic than Sherbo?
In what way?
but anyway, yeah, I just thought that was great. So
Yeah.
it's been fun following him
Great.
over the next few years.
Yeah.
Footwear sacrificed at half price and equipment slashed to half price. Rowan Jarman's huge half price sale. Don't miss it.
Cripps's reaction to getting the VC in the All Australian team. Did you guys see that?
No, was he not happy?
He was not happy. No.
Oh, who cares?
They had the camera on him, and his face just gave off these real stinky vibes.
Oh, get over
Yeah,
yourself, mate.
wasn't happy about that.
imagine being that good.
Yeah,
That was what you're worried about.
yeah, I know. That's right. Kane Corns joining Channel 7 next year. Look, I hate Channel 7 anyway, so it doesn't necessarily bother me. And next year, Fox are going to be doing all their own commentary, so we won't have to listen to Channel 7 at all if you don't want to.
Is that going to be the dream team of Corns and BT on
Could you
Friday
imagine
night?
Corns and BT on a Friday night?
Honestly, what are Channel 7 doing at the moment? First,
Yeah.
they do the horoscopes on the news, reading.
Oh, well, the comedy thing on
Oh,
Friday
yes.
nights, like the last few minutes of the show.
Are they doing that too?
Yeah, there's some comedian guy. on
Oh,
there.
wait, I did see that.
It's like cheap seats.
Yeah.
done
Yeah,
badly.
okay. Oh. And the other like they're just like tabloidy AF.
it's
So it
awful.
makes complete sense that they would get Kane on
Kane.
board.
Yeah.
But like, why are you doing this? Like, we're not all idiots. Not all of us.
Do you reckon Kane
Plenty
will be
are.
on Talking Footy? Imagine he could be on there with Selwood and Cochin and
Well, apparently,
Oh, he's
I
mates.
don't think that's coming back. I think
Isn't
it's tanking.
that is
like
a
you wouldn't
terrible
believe.
show. Those two, they were great, like good players.
Maybe that's why they're getting Kane, because they're like, these guys hate you. Let's put you in a room with them
Yeah, true.
to talk footy.
Yeah,
But
that's
even
true.
the Talking Footy set looks like something off the morning show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah. And I accidentally caught that after front bar a couple of times, and Jesus, it's a shocker.
There's a show.
Yeah,
I
front
love
bar's
the
good.
front bar.
Yeah, but the worst thing of the week. This is a couple of weeks old now, but Ned's going to be hosting his own lifestyle show on Channel 7.
Yeah, 4-part series.
So does that mean he's sticking around, or is he just sticking around in SA? Yeah,
I'm going to say
we're surely not giving him a contract, are
I
we?
doubt it. I highly doubt it. In fact, I took him posting the preview of that show to be his retirement announcement.
Yeah,
That's what
maybe
I
we
took
could
that
make
as.
him captain of the twos.
Is it pretty much just fishing, or is it other stuff?
No,
as
it's a Cozzy-esque like.
well?
It's the new Cozzy.
It's Cozzy.
South
It's
Aussie
South
with
You said that
McHenry.
name.
Yeah, I know.
So, well, I mean, surely. How does that make the?
Digger's mate.
If that's a replacement, surely that's not all bad. If that's the replacement.
Oh no,
No, it's not a replacement though because it's only a
Nah.
4-part.
You won't get rid of Cozzy.
Oh, it might be the start of something new, though.
I mean, honestly, if we could get rid of Cozzy and replace him with Ned, I'd be all for that.
Yeah.
Might not be long, and Ned will get a undeserved government grant for his farm
For a
out near
farm,
Strathallan.
yeah.
So,
Build a couple of Airbnbs
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. That's all. Sorry.
That's it?
Yeah, that's all.
How's the comments going?
I was just going to scroll back up. Ross said to us earlier, can we get Digger's opinion on Luco to Adelaide, given that he said he didn't want to come to the Crows or Port when he got drafted?
I think either on socials before I came here, they reckon he's not coming. So
There's so many different things floating around. Like it's really hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see him because I'm a bit of a fan of a good ball user, which I don't think there's too many better than him. And he wouldn't have to come and try and be a key forward or a key back for Adelaide. I think you could chuck him on the wing. I'd love that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's going to happen.
Well, you know,
No
if it's
word
not
on the
this year,
street.
it doesn't really matter, does it? Because we can get him next year for not much, I think.
well, if we're not chasing him, surely that's making our pick 4 a little bit safer.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no way we're giving that up for him. Surely, maybe that's it. Maybe that's not why he's not coming because we wouldn't budge on that.
We do. We are prone to doing some dumb shit, so
I feel like we're not going to do it.
I hope not.
You wouldn't want to be doing that kind of shit. People would riot.
Jackson also said, do we really need to wait until trade period to decide whether we keep McHenry and Parnell? Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah,
I don't really know
no.
why we're not diving into some of these
We do
these
seem to go
axings.
very slow on delistings.
Yeah.
I reckon it's because there are like guys that they're clearly holding out on, like Gallant and maybe Hamill. Borley's obviously just signed a 2-year.
Hard to do too much. We haven't had the Himmelberg domino fall yet. So.
Yeah, you don't want to delist.
Dragon.
You don't want to get rid of 2 blokes and be like, thanks for your services, and then 2 weeks later be like, oh, and we're also delisting these guys. Like you kind of want to do that all at the one time. So I kind of understand why they're not putting it out there. But yeah,
Didn't sound
whatever.
good for Hamill.
No.
That is really disappointing. Like I think he's shown enough to stay on, but we are fucking scraping it for list spots at the moment.
Yeah,
Especially
I'm not
if we've-
super surprised by that.
Well, you
Ball
think-
Ace for 2 years, Berry. Bond has not signed yet. That is concerning.
Yeah, he needs
Oh,
to.
he's a lock, surely.
Yeah, he has to.
He'd have to be, but I have heard rumours that he's been approached by Victorian clubs because he is from Victoria. So
Wouldn't
maybe
be
that's
surprised.
let's wait and see.
Did we play him towards the back end of the season to up his trade value?
I mean, that would really suck.
might get us up from a 4th to a 3rd.
Yeah,
round.
maybe.
So,
Yeah. Handy points.
Yeah, I mean, he appears to be that sort of guy. You just throw him and give him a job and he'll get it done.
Yeah.
But I guess the thing is with Alex Neil-Bullen now confirmed to be coming to the Crows, like that's just one list spot that's taken up. Like we're not saying no to that. So
Yeah.
it is
No,
just
they're
like-
all in on him.
Bro.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Brody Smith triggering his contract.
And that's another one.
That's filth.
Can we rookie him? Like what's the go there? Like he's not going to be playing much AFL next year at all.
Well, it's a pretty chock-a-block line, that halfback now. If you think Miller didn't play any games, there's rumours about coming.
Fair enough.
Cummings coming.
That's what I was trying to throw in a word that
you've
wasn't-
ruined my
yeah.
sweet tweet, which I was going to run with.
Oh, there's a lot of ordinary ways you can go down with using that man's name. But
Yeah.
I'm not.
Ordinary?
I'm not sure. I'm looking forward to the poorly drawn Crows for that
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. The obvious one to me is, are you coming over Lukosius?
Ben.
Come on, Ben. He hates the fart sound and runs with that gear.
I'm
What's
just
this?
asking which player you prefer. I don't
I hope
know.
Henry's not watching.
Oh boy. What did we mention? Barry, didn't we? Signed. We might as well talk about all of them. Filthy.
Filthy.
Another 3
Nice
years.
little extension there.
Yeah. So that's nice.
It's good. He's
Yeah.
obviously got faith in the club, as he said.
Mm.
That's just nice. It's a nice time.
Yeah, I think so. Locking away some of these players, getting those contracts.
Bez was a surprising one for me. I honestly thought he'd be looking around, but I'm glad he has. I'm glad he signed. I like Berry as a player. I think he's more depth than anything.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think he's a really handy midfield depth player for mine. But yeah, I'm glad he's sticking around. I hope we're not paying him too much. But yeah,
Who cares? We've got heaps of money.
I do.
We're rolling in it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
And yeah, we talked about earlier about Keane's definitely staying.
Keane's
so
sticking around.
I think that was the other one where it was like potential trade value, but we'd rather keep him. I think.
He's only played 25 games and he's getting a lot of possessions as a defender.
Yeah.
I think his
Well, if he
decision making and skills will continue to improve.
If he wants to go, he can go next year. Like, see you later. See you later. We'll have Oscar Ryan in the side by then, so it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or
Looking
Charlie
forward to seeing
Edwards.
those.
Who knows?
Yeah, maybe those two.
Who knows?
And there's talk about that Roses as well from Gold Coast.
Yes.
I think
small
that's
forward,
been kind of dampened today.
Debunked.
Yeah, I
Has
think there's no interest of him coming here.
Yeah, right. It's
That's
not like he's
what
set
I've
the world
heard.
He hasn't set the world alight, that's for sure. He's had a couple of like half reasonable games, but yeah, I don't know why we would have gone all out trying to chase
I think
someone
the
like
idea
that.
was to free up Rankin a bit more into the midfield and he can play that sort of small goal sneak.
Yeah, we wouldn't. Yeah, but we wouldn't want to kick Murphy out of this team.
No,
really?
you would
That might-
never want to do that.
No.
I assume that's
No.
Neil Bullen's job.
Yeah, Yep.
It'll be
That'll nice.
interesting time. Anyway,
What's next?
let's talk to Steve about what we
Yes.
asked him in for, which
Yeah.
is club culture.
Not the sausage rolls.
Well, we can reveal the sausage
I reckon
rolls.
we get
'cause
the
let's
sausage
get them
rolls
going
out
because they're hot.
because-
They're still warm.
Just a little bit of history for the viewers.
Oh my
every
god!
time
They're bite size.
Family
Well,
show.
that's more sausage rolls than I was expecting.
Yep.
There you go.
I'm in charge of making sausage rolls for the family shows, as we
Oh,
call
no.
them. And
Don't have much room here.
I make them bite size. These have just been freshly cooked tonight.
They look excellent.
They should be sort of very light on the palate. And I'd encourage you to. The way I like to apply the sauce is actually a little bit of a dab with the actual sauce bottle itself.
Oh,
You know, you go. I did bring the container.
Done
in.
it wrong, Ben.
There was a ramekin, so I used the ramekin.
Well, I was about to leave, and Paula said, "Are you taking a container for the sauce?" I said, "Oh, of course I am." So here we are, and I did bring the world's largest sauce bottle as well. But yeah, so that's a family treat.
You know how many
I'm
of
happy-
these things I've eaten in my
I'm
lifetime?
happy to have some sort of on-air reviews of them if you like. What's your first impressions, Ben?
But I should probably swallow first, I reckon.
Oh no, not that with the coming chap.
Exactly. Well, Lauren, what are your?
Oh, well, I love them. Like
Yeah.
you know, I've been eating these for how many years?
Oh,
It's my favourite thing
About
at
a
the
decade.
family party.
exactly.
It's the first thing out on the table.
Yes.
And I usually have about 7 before
Absolutely.
the actual food comes out.
No, very
Sam,
tasty.
you're
Yeah,
the
they're
bakery connoisseur.
Yeah, I like it. There's a little bit of like chewiness to the pastry as well, which I really like. Yeah, that's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
Paul is complaining that you didn't leave any at home, but
Oh,
I've got a feeling she might have some leftovers.
we know that we did leave a sample there for her and Phoebe to get stuck in tonight, so I think they're probably chewing on them as we speak.
Possibly after running 10Ks, I might polish off a few tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
You should, Ben.
So yeah, that's sausage rolls, but yeah, you want to talk about some other stuff?
Perfect. So now, Steve, not only is he the father of football great Matty Newman and also a football great himself, but Steve actually does a lot of work with sporting clubs around their culture. And I thought that was quite relevant to the Crows at the moment because obviously after the showdown, there was a lot going on.
Absolutely.
With Josh Rochelle and, you know, kind of him getting thrown under the bus with the whole celebration thing and getting dropped for the Sydney game. And it did have a lot of people questioning what kind of culture are the Crows like dealing with here?
Yes.
Because obviously Matthew Nix has come in and he's built the culture up. I think we can all agree. But now we're at this kind of point where something like this happens very publicly, where multiple leaders have come out kind of ragging on Rochelle. I think that's probably a harsh way to put it.
Yep.
But the football media aren't happy with how the Crows have dealt with this situation. So I would love to know your thoughts on the situation, Steve, and how you think the Crows could potentially improve their culture.
Yes, well, it was interesting, right? So that dropped, and not surprisingly, I got a few messages from friends and other people because of the stuff I do with clubs on their culture, and seeking my opinion about what had gone down and the fact that it was played out in public and all those elements. And my comments back to everyone was, it's really dangerous to make a comment or a decision on someone else's decisions unless you're actually in the situation. So unless you're in the club, unless you're in the team environment, you don't know what the historical conversations have been. And what interested me was, over the 3 to 4 days that followed, it actually seasoned. I'd call it seasoned a little bit.
Yep.
There was less of the initial uproar and more of the, but maybe what if this had been the scenario? What if there'd been several conversations during the year about X? These are the expected standards of behaviour that we're looking for, and this is how you can demonstrate that you're aligned to our, because they would have a trademark down there that they've established. So they would be holding up against the trademark saying this is what we're looking for. And potentially, and I said I'm not in the club, after the teeth comment about the port pans, potentially what might have happened was there was a conversation with him that might have been along the lines of, hey, let's make sure that on game day we don't give them any opportunity to ramp up the situation any further.
Yep.
And I reckon that's what may have occurred, was that he might have gone off script.
Yeah, for sure.
But who knows? But essentially, when you think about the culture piece, it's about having enormous trust in the group of people that you're around, and trust is built on repeated behaviours. So if people are perhaps behaving in a way that's not aligned to what we said we would be doing, that's when trust can erode.
Yes.
And then you've got some hard decisions to make. And in high-performing teams, high-performing groups and organisations, people hold people accountable. And if they don't, you end up with a culture where you end up with mid-level performance. And I know that there's been some calls in the industry or around clubland about, should the Crows be a bit more ruthless? And it's interesting. They decided to be a bit to demonstrate a bit of ruthlessness.
Ruthlessness, yes.
Exactly. And because it was off-brand, I think people went, wow, hang on, what's going on here?
Yes.
So I did actually bring in Book Club.
Let's move the sausages.
Because I know that everyone likes to have a conversation about culture. So I thought I would just point out a couple of books that are worthwhile people considering getting their hands on. And the first one, am I showing it that way?
Yep.
The first one is a book called Legacy, and it's about the All Blacks. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but the All Blacks have about 15 elements that they decide is what their culture is based on. And they, at one stage, weren't a great organisation. They had a lot of stuff going on that wasn't good. So they created their 15 elements, and one of them they stole from the Sydney Swans, which was no dickheads. And so I think that at the heart of it, when Matthew Nix, who's been involved in the Sydney Swan system, came to the Adelaide Footy Club, part of that was prioritising others. He talks about that all the time.
Yes, he does, yeah.
And that's on the basis, I think, of a foundation of no dickheads.
Yeah.
How do we explain Chad Warner?
So that's the one. So
I think that's probably Taylor Adams' influence.
So I think if you want to book on culture, get Legacy. It's a fabulous read because it doesn't only talk about the rugby scene; it talks about other codes. So that's a good one. There's another one called Culture Code, which even talks about improv. So if you've been to the Fringe and you've watched the improv act, they have some cultural guidelines around how you behave in an improv group. And one of them is about not looking for the joke. And one of their priorities is about supporting other people. So that's a really good one in regards to, it goes through sport, it goes through the arts, etc. So that's another good one. And everyone's heard of Leading Teams. They've done culture work with lots of the AFL clubs over the years. They have a book called Any Given Team, and one of their foundations is around accountability as well.
No collective minds.
No collective minds in here. And this is a brand new one. This is only just been released, and this is more around if you want to understand what it takes to see an athlete perform at the highest level, and it's called The Performance Mindset, 7 Steps. And interestingly, I've only just started the book, but they were talking about draft picks. We did a quiz earlier.
Yeah.
What do you reckon is the average draft pick of Brownlow medalists in, I think it's the last 10 years? What do you reckon the average draft pick is?
I want to say like 25.
Thank you, Lauren.
Well,
Sam?
Lockie Neal would bring it down a bit because he was
I would have
quite
said
late,
in
wasn't he?
like high 20s, early 30s,
Give me a number.
32.
I'll split the difference and go 28.
It's 36.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and so and that's based on the fact that being a good, high-performing junior athlete is not a guarantee for sustained success, because most of the athletes who have sustained success are bringing other elements to the table other than talent.
Yeah.
And a lot of it's about their mindset, their work rate, being able to cope with diversity, etc. But so that's my book club.
Yeah, nice.
Good titles there.
some
Maybe
good
we'll
stuff.
put them in the show notes
Yeah,
if Sam
might have to.
remembers.
Yeah.
Now,
Exactly.
Kate has actually asked a question in the chat, and I was actually going to ask a similar question, but I'm interested in, Kate is also interested in your thoughts on when you're obviously you're in a football club, and you would deal with many age ranges of different ages. But obviously, the Crows, you've got your oldest player in Tex, 33, and then you've got your youngest player in, someone like Zach Taylor, 19, 20. How does the culture shift, and how do you meet in the middle when you've got players like senior players, and then you've got your young upstarts like Josh Rochelle, for example, who they're obviously still maturing, they're still learning a lot.
Yep.
How do you kind of balance that? Like, what's the culture answer there?
Well, I think it's about inclusion. So if you think about I'm 18, 19, just got drafted, there's probably a fair chance that I will walk into the club and feel like I don't quite fit in. Mm-hmm. So we've got to make sure that people feel like they're all part of the same circle. The San Antonio Spurs, who won 3 pennants, or whatever they call them, championships in 4 years, I think it was, they have a mantra of all being in the same circle. So that feeling like, doesn't matter who you are, you feel like you're included, even if you're the last one who's just got drafted. And I experienced this firsthand when I spent some time with the Redbacks when Jamie Siddons was coaching them. And, we all know about the Redbacks, like last time they won something was in 1985, I think. But I went along to their leadership meeting that they held when Jamie ran that, and Stephen Swert was there because he was running their fitness program at the time. And they had one of their youngest players. They called his role as the Sparky in the group, and he was part of the leadership group, and he was only just contracted, and it was all about getting insight about what it was like to be a young player in the team, And then they used him as a conduit to take information back to his peers.
Yep.
And that was Alex Carey.
There you go.
And, you could see they picked him for a reason, was because he was going to be able to articulate the message back to his peers.
Yeah.
Because before he was picked up by the Redbacks, he was actually studying to be a financial planner. So he was obviously well-educated and had some influence. So I think that's the challenge, is so that it's not, the leadership group's up here and there's no connection back to me as a new draftee. We want everyone to feel like they're part of it. And so that's why mentoring's so important, the buddy system, etc. I know they do that in the AFLW women's program, is that they have the younger players connecting with the senior players, so they work together to make it feel like they belong.
Because I think that would be the basis of Kate's question, is that from the outside looking in, it doesn't feel like that happens as far as the senior players at the Crows, maybe just not being on the same page as the younger players are, especially when you see older players underperforming and not getting dropped in favour of dropping younger players that might maybe lash out a little bit.
And that might be, that could be the easiest path for us to take as supporters, to think that that's the way it's all operating.
Mm-hmm.
They may be doing a heap of work in that space and we just may not have line of sight of it. Because I'm just thinking, if that's happening in the AFLW program, it's probably based on the principals, because you've got Daniel who looks after the culture stuff down there. So I'm sure that there's a cascading effect. This is what we're doing in the men's. We want that to flow through to our women's program as well.
Yeah.
So
I was actually going to ask that. Like, when you look from the outside, obviously you've got a bit more of an inner glimpse of the women's team, with Maddie being in the side. But when you compare the two, what do you think about that? Do you think they're on par? Do you think the men could probably learn a bit from the girls, or?
I think they could learn a ton.
Yeah, I think it's a different world, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think that, the women are on
they're on a journey together, aren't
very
they?
early doors of a journey. And I think one of the things that the women's program has still retained is that element of gratitude.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
They just feel so grateful to be given the opportunity to play the game.
Yeah.
And they can't believe their luck that they're involved. One of the things that stood out to me on Saturday night when I went down to the Alberton Oval was, after the game, they just put a little roped off area on the oval, and both teams stayed out on the ground and signed autographs, took photos for as long as people wanted them to. They didn't go straight into the change. They didn't walk around the boundary line, sign a ball and then take off. And I think that's maybe the AFLW setting the scene for that.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
think I saw that across the whole round. And I think it's that piece around, they understand that, because I know, you may know that I've got a couple of crazies in my household, Hallie and Maddie, who have a Instagram account and TikTok account.
TikTok queens.
They deliberately are trying to promote the AFLW and the Crows to boost the connection with fans.
Yeah.
That's one of their goals.
They're doing a really good job of that. So is Jess Waterhouse, actually.
Oh, God, Jess. Love Jess.
Everyone loves Jess. And, yeah, I love that. I think the boys are doing that to a point, but maybe not as well as the girls.
Yeah.
I've seen some of Joshua Shelley's TikToks. It's just Nank dancing. But, that's fun.
I mean, AFL players, they get held up on a pretty high pedestal, and it's pretty easy to start feeling pretty good about yourself and feeling a little bit more than the crowd or people watching and whatnot. So I think there is that slight sense of how good am I, a little bit, from a lot of men's players, I reckon.
And it might be difficult too, that if they go out for dinner or something like that and people want a photo with them every 5 minutes, that would probably get a bit draining. But and it's on scale too. The girls played in front of 5,000 people, not 50,000 the other night. So it is a different environment.
And they're all very young. So if you're young and highly successful, you can get pretty.
Vardy Magic said in the chat, Digger talking too much sense and bringing way too much credibility to this podcast, making me uncomfortable.
My apologies, Marty, and I'm a massive fan of yours.
It's not the real Peter Vardy, by the way.
No, I realise that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
No, I'm a fan of him. Look, I think the last thing I want to touch on, this is a model that I know SEN have had Patrick Lencioni on their, I think it was with Gary Lyon and Tim Watson in the mornings. They had him on for, I don't know, 10 minutes because he has a model and it's actually called dysfunctional teams, the 5 elements of dysfunctional teams. Not functional, so it's not the positive, it's dysfunctional. I'll just run through those 5 elements to it. So think about a pyramid. So at the bottom of it is an absence of trust. So we talked about that trust element being really critical. Absence of trust. A fear of conflict, so that's people going, oh, Lawrence pissed me off, but I don't want to rock the boat, so I won't actually say anything.
That's me at work all the time.
That's right. And we've all got this stuff happening at work as well, right? So a lack of commitment being the other one. The fourth one is avoidance of accountability. So that's that, not my job. I'm not sure if you're aware, but with the All Blacks, one of their elements of their 15 is sweep the sheds. They have a high level of accountability. So they play a game at Adelaide Oval on Saturday night. Before they leave the change rooms, they'll clean it. The players clean it. Not the training staff, not the Adelaide Oval staff. The players clean it. And I saw that transformed, I think it was 2016, 15. Ivan Marek was playing for Richmond. It was a Friday night, I think a Dreamtime game. And he came off the ground and Channel 7, they were doing their normal wrap-up for an hour, and they said, oh, look, we just wanted to show you something before we leave. And they had the fixed camera in the change rooms. What do you reckon they showed in the change rooms?
Him cleaning up. I remember that.
Yeah, it was Ivan cleaning the change rooms, had a bin, and he was picking up all of the cans and all of the bottles. In 2017, Richmond played the Giants at the MCG, and at the end of the game, they'd won. And again, same situation, they had the change rooms. Everyone had left, and Trent Cotchin was sitting there when he had his family, and he was about to walk out the change rooms, and he spotted something, and it was a bottle on the ground. He just went, hang on. He went back, picked that up, and put it in the bin.
I don't believe that.
It's a true story.
I hate Trent Cotchin.
So do I. But true story.
That was to make up for his absolute barrel into the.
That's right. I'll be doing that. So that accountability one is a belter. So what that was, Ivan Marek 2 years earlier did something that left a legacy in that footy club, massive. And the last one is inattention to results, and that is that I'm worried about my performance rather than the results of the team.
So I think we've got to the bottom of why the men are so shit. We took all of those.
There you go. So that's what they'd be focusing on. How can we reverse that? How can we go with high trust, meet things head on, have lots of accountability, take responsibility, and then the last one being that we're focused on the team, not my own performance.
I think. Sorry, no, go ahead.
It's funny though, isn't it? Like obviously we're nuffies sitting on the outside looking in, but every one of those things Digger just mentioned, we've accused the Crows of, the Crows men's side of this year.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure, but just from what we've seen on the ground and seen training wise and what we get access to.
I think one thing we have to remember is that in any organisation, whether it be work or a sports team, and there's 40 of them, not everyone's going to get along. Not everyone's going to, there'll be clashing personalities. There's, like you said, there's a lot we don't see. And it is really how they handle those situations.
Well, I think there was a lot of outrage about the Rochelle situation, but the person who handled themselves really well was Rochelle.
Yeah.
Going, I'm taking accountability.
Yep.
I'm happy to play Sandford this week and do what I can for the team.
Certainly handled it better than Laird.
Well, I think what we're seeing, though, is maybe the communication has been better than what everyone thinks. Like he's taken it on board. Okay, this is what I need to do, as opposed to the reaction was, all right, well, Rochelle's going to move back to Victoria and this and that.
The reaction
and
was absolutely ridiculous.
So
really.
It wasn't necessarily. It sounds like there had been conversations throughout the week and or year, and this was the culmination of it. So I think we can get a little bit knee jerky with how we see things.
And I think one of the things that sticks out to me too is, and because I do this at work, my role at work is people development. So I live this on a daily basis. What people are concerned about when there's conflict is, what if the person leaves? My response is, what if they don't? And they're still behaving in a way that's not what we're looking for?
Yeah.
What does that mean for everyone else who's left behind, the survivors? And also it might mean that someone may leave that we don't want to leave because they go, well, they're not pulling this person up. I'm not seeing it changing. I'm out. That can be the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Losing on people.
Probably a bit of that happening at Melbourne at the moment as well.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Absolutely fascinating.
Well, my last question
Apologies.
for this is, if the boys don't have any others, is the culture shift now between, like, obviously we've got senior players that are probably in their last few years or maybe year even. So we've got Tex, Rory Laird, Brody Smith, Matt Crouch, although Matt Crouch probably got a few more in him. But when that shift happens and the younger leaders are stepping up, what is there going to be a change in the culture there, do you think? Like, how do they kind of manage that when those younger guys are now going to be the ones stepping up?
I reckon that's why someone like a Tex is hanging around, because he knows he's got a job to assist the next future leaders come through. I think there's a lot of care from someone like him. That's that's what I see from him.
I believe that.
And if you think about where he has come from, he's come from Broken Hill, where there would be a large sense of community up there, where people care about what happens on and off the field. And I reckon that's the add value that he's giving, so that people who are following on from him, he's not the captain anymore, but he's still a leader, he's helping the club be set up for success.
Yeah.
I believe that. And I think, don't underestimate the capability of some of those young people. Like, I look at someone like Michael Laney and I think, wow, if he's not a future leader of this club, I don't know what one looks like.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we've got a lot going for us in the leadership space, definitely. And it doesn't mean people won't make mistakes either,
Of
as
course.
we've seen.
Yeah. Well, as we've seen over many years.
As we've seen. You've got a few phone calls a few times over the years.
Well, I've got to say, Steve, that was fantastic insight, and the comments agree. Everyone thinks it's very good. Pearls of wisdom, loving it.
Sorry, it went a bit serious there for a while, didn't it?
Oh, I think we should be serious about it, because it is serious.
We love the club.
Oh, yeah, we do. And we want the culture to be good. And I think it is good, but there's obviously questions. And I think maybe the club's handling, and we say handling of it, but I feel like maybe the transparency with the fans isn't there so much. And that's why we were thrown by the Josh Rochelle thing, because, we weren't told earlier in the piece that maybe he got talking to about that. And, there's only so much they can tell us, obviously. But like you said, it was a bit of a shock when all of a sudden they were being ruthless, and we were like, oh, wait, where's this come from?
Yeah. Well, if we go to work, right, and we have a tough conversation with someone at work, it's not on the radio that night. So that's the challenge for being in that sort of industry where things play out in the public.
Yeah, that's it.
But I think a big part of trust too is that there's some things that need to remain private as well. And as fans,
of course,
we should
accept that.
Not
Yes, absolutely.
everything's going to be spilled out.
And
spill the tea.
And
as
for
they
someone
say.
like Rochelle, who was copying it all year already from media and rival supporters, it might not have been seen as appropriate to air any grievances they had throughout the year.
I think it's hard with Josh specifically, because he's obviously a character, and we want him to maintain the character, and we want him to give that energy to us. Like, us as fans love that. We love it. Like, we loved the team
He told us early
celebration.
on he has a backflip in his repertoire.
Yes, he did
So
say
we're
that.
still waiting for a game that's worth pulling it out.
So
but, yeah.
maybe it's hard for us to really swallow, because we really do love that kind of, drama and theatre. And obviously he's been told something different behind the scenes, and we're like, well, hang on a sec, but we like it. And maybe as fans, we have to kind of accept that sometimes it's not about us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It might be about celebrating achievements as opposed to provoking oppositions.
Yeah, that's my read on it. Yeah, excite the crowd and celebrate as much as you like. Hey, I was a big run along the boundary line, high-fiving the 3 people at Morpher when I kicked the goal. So I know where he's coming from. But at the same time, I think there's the measured bit. And, he's a young kid. He'll learn from all of that.
Exactly. And I think that's, the other thing that people forget is that he is so young. Like,
I'd rather have him playing for us than leaving, that's for sure.
Exactly. And, I'm not really sure where that kind of hysteria comes from, like, he'll be asking for a trade. Like, I feel like he's a pretty humble kid and, like, pretty smart. I don't think he's a complete idiot. Like, I think he obviously wants this as a career. He's chosen the sport. He does clearly love it in Adelaide. Like, he's just bought a house. He's living with his best mates, his teammates. There's nothing about Josh that says he wouldn't want to stay in Adelaide. So I think it's really silly of fans to, like, kind of, comment that on every post and, like, telling him he should ask for a trade. Like, do you want him to go? Because if you keep saying that shit, he will. He'll go, oh, hang on, maybe these guys are right. Like, maybe I should go.
Well, we talked about before with the Corn and his comments on social media. The ones that get the clicks are normally the ones that are negatively framed. So that probably leads the charge for people to think, oh, well, say something negative about a player and everyone will, pile on versus make someone a favourable comment.
Yeah.
And people don't pay as much attention to that.
It's funny because, like, Josh and even Jack Ginnivan, like, everyone goes, oh, they're a flog. They're like, they're up themselves, they've got ego, blah, blah, blah. Then they do something, and, Josh goes ahead and does the tea celebration. Everyone goes, oh, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Oh, we love it. Like, make up your mind. Like, what, make up your mind. Do you like him or not?
Yeah.
Which part? Anyway, that was great insight. I think everyone enjoyed that. Thanks, Steve.
No worries, Will. Don't forget get yourself a good book.
Books. We'll, if you send me the names of the books, I'll get Sam to put them in the show notes so people can look them up.
Yeah, we can do that.
And to keep that momentum, we're now talking about the Sydney game.
Oh, why not? Just to wrap up the men's season, we went to the SCG and played Sydney and got walloped. And boy, did we deserve it.
I don't think I've seen so many handball into a mark a set of hands or a kick into a mark it was all over the shop. Missed targets.
Yeah. It was a shocker.
Absolutely shocking.
A few
In fact,
players.
I'm going to go straight to Ben to see if he has some stats from that game to talk us through how terrible that was.
Not really.
Oh, okay. Never mind then.
Wait. Here we go. Let's see. I'll double check, but I reckon probably not. I don't think I put a lot of effort into. No, my notes are bad start and then sort of hang on. So there you go.
Okay. Well,
it was a long time ago, and a fair bit's happened in those few weeks.
yeah, it's definitely a game to forget.
No one listening to this cares about that game anymore.
Well, I've got some votes. Do you have votes?
Oh,
Should we do that?
I don't have votes. Oh.
Oh, all right. Well, I gave 3 to Dawson and 2 to Riley Thilthorpe, and I gave 1 to Billy Dowling.
Sure, sounds good.
And Nank kicked a goal.
Nank did kick a goal.
Yep.
First ever goal.
Dan gave 3 to Ben Keys, 2 to Jordan Dawson, 1 to Matt Crouch.
Oh, Josh bringing up Laird's kickouts. God, that was... Oh, my God.
I mean, honestly, everyone was pretty annoyed at Laird after that radio interview. I think everyone thought Laird's interview about Josh Rochelle was maybe the worst of...
That was the low point.
Worst of the 4 that came out. But, geez, that karma came to hit him in that game, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you would have liked to. Yeah, you would have thought that he would have come out all guns blazing in that game after the comments, but no, did quite the opposite.
Deary
It was like the Homer Simpson meme going back into the
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. Get back in the hedge, lady.
Yeah, Vardy, you're absolutely spot on. Curtin was great to watch in that game. Didn't have a massive amount of disposals, but I really liked what I saw from him. He's going to be so good in the coming years.
I know, that really exciting. Ben, who did you have votes for?
I did go with Dawson, Thilthorpe, and then I gave 1 to Taylor for his 3 goals.
He kicked 3?
Mm-hmm.
Taylor?
Zach Taylor.
And a 50.
Where was I for that? I swear to God I checked the stats and that didn't come up.
he did. I'm pretty sure.
I mean-
I'm starting to question myself.
As Sam said, it was ages ago. Who knows?
So did you officially not have votes? Is that Sam?
Just copy Lawrence.
Okay, that's quick and easy. Yep.
I've got the quiet achiever, the last quiet achiever of the year. Where's the button?
Oh,
Come on, button man.
sorry.
I can't
Hi,
see.
I'm Tyson Edwards.
You're such a quiet achiever.
All right, I gave my final Tyson Edwards quiet achiever vote to Luke Nankervis, who I think is officially my favourite player of the Crows.
Wow.
Yeah, he's number one. I think he's just like too adorable, good on the ground. Dance is really good. Okay, that's it. That's all I
He
need.
does seem like a nice guy, and he really takes it on, and he's quite exciting to watch.
I think he's just an all-round good bloke.
Yeah, I'm going to copy Lauren.
Yep, good. Ben, who did you have?
I just went with Worrell because that seemed about right, and I couldn't remember the game very well. But he
Okay.
seemed to. He since coming back, he's been good to
Yeah,
He
well,
has.
back
yes.
in defence.
Laura's been great. Yeah.
And Dan had Dowling as well. Billy Dowling. Anyway, that was
Jakey
a
poo.
season to forget.
Let's
So
forget about
we-
season 2024 nightmare season. No more honourable losses. Thanks.
Please.
I assume we're using the Christmas special as our big announcements for awards and things like that.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
So
assuming you'll need
you've-
at least 20 minutes to calculate that winner.
Yeah.
I could do it now, but I think it would be better to just wait and give it the prestige that our consistent vote way we tally and who comes in and how we do it. I think it needs a prestigious time.
No, I agree. A bit of music as well.
Oh yes,
We could
yes.
key something
No,
up.
we need
We do.
we need a big announcement at the end.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all good.
And we need people to forget what actually happened, so it's just kind of
Yeah.
a surprise.
Again, a forgettable season. And yeah, look, I think if we lose round one next season, just count me out.
Cancel the pod.
Like, we've got to get one. We've got to get one in the bag.
I think losing round one can sometimes be an absolute blessing. I mean, how many teams have stunk it up in the first 3 or 4 rounds and then ended up in the 8? At the end
Only
of the season?
Hawthorn.
Hawthorn absolutely stunk it up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Socials? Did we get any socials?
I don't know.
I
Did
put
we?
some. I put some stuff
I
up.
haven't turned the phone on, so it's not charged, and I forgot to charge it. So if you've left a voice memo,
Oh, we got something from Bozza. Bozza.
Well,
I
really?
accidentally called him Boozer in the chat. That's what it auto-corrected to.
What's that you got to say?
Do you want to play that now?
Yeah, go on.
All right, hang on.
Some finals predictions, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, what's going on with the finals?
Do we need to play the...
Out of bounds, on the full.
And as usual, we're not connected.
Oh no!
Why would we do...
Why would you organise that?
Yeah, that's right. It's not like we do it every week. Hang on, everybody. Did we get
Breaking
anything on Twitter?
news: Beck Judd to make long-awaited Brownlow return.
Great.
Interesting. All the best, Paula. All the best. Keep your fluids up as well.
Did we get anything on Twitter?
No,
No?
everyone's off it.
Yeah. There was a distinct lack of feedback this week, wasn't there?
Yeah.
He wrote boozers in his thing.
You gotta get into the women's people. I know, like, heaps of people aren't around it, but that actually like saddens me because it's good. It's good fun. Just get into it. We're going to be talking about it for the next 10 weeks, so you might as well.
It's true.
All right, bring us the Boz man.
Good evening, Wednesday night tips from the sauna for the finals. No selections, obviously. Get ready for some absolute hell this weekend because put everything you own, house, car, whatever it is, on the little brother across the Port Road Bridge. The unknown teal defunct Magpies. 40 plus points at home against Father Time Geelong.
Oh, I hate
The other
that, Bozza.
finals, I'm going for the Dogs by 17 points. The Orange team by 7 points. And and the Baggers in an upset by 19 points at the half-filled Gabba. Just a quick one. Did you see that they're charging you money to go on the ground to hold up the banner at the Gabba? What? Very desperate club, that one.
Wow.
Poor old Bears. Anyway, that'd be it. So probably see you next week, and the little brother will have a week off. How exciting for us. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Bozza.
Thanks, Bozza. I hope you're wrong about Paul anyway.
I hope he's wrong too. Now, I just actually opened my 2024 predictions from the start of the season.
Oh, yeah.
And I had our finishing position as 7th. And our club champion as Isaac Rankin. Isaac Rankin, who missed 8 games.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to happen. I also had him down for the most goals. That was definitely wrong.
I think you would have gone close if you played the whole season.
I picked the grand finalists to be the Giants and the D's, so got that one pretty wrong. But I have picked the Giants to win the premiership. What do you think is likely? I feel like Brisbane might get it.
Yeah,
I feel like they might be like the Smoky, even though they've just been playing really well.
Pretty sure at the start of the year I said Brisbane and GWS in the grand final, but I'd be comfortable with that. I don't know.
I saw the Fox Footy premiership window is going to either that or someone winning from outside the bottom 4 is going to cause some issues.
Well, yeah, they said there's 3 teams in the premiership window and it's no one in the top 4.
No, they're all in the bottom 4. Yeah.
It's like, well, I reckon they've all got a bit of a window. They're all in finals.
Probably need to revamp the window, Fox
Maybe.
Footy.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. I don't know. Who do you want to win? I think GWS is who I'm going to.
Well, GWS would be
support.
number 1.
Yeah.
But I feel like Brisbane would be my number 2.
Yeah.
I feel like they probably deserve it after last year.
Maybe. Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of that would be robbed in that game.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate it if Brisbane won. Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Any non-Victorian I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't love Sydney, but
I hope Hawks beat the Bulldogs this week.
yeah.
Seeing Bevo lose would be nice.
I like that Hawthorn have made the finals. I like what's going on there. But if they won the flag, I would fucking hate it. I would absolutely hate
Wouldn't
it.
be good, wouldn't it?
No.
I put $20 on Port Adelaide to win the flag at the start of the year, so I'm sitting on that. That was in 12s.
Oh, yeah.
I just can't even fathom that as a
But
reality.
it's more of a safeguard bet.
Yeah.
So if they do win it,
You win too.
I'll win. I'll win
Yeah.
too. I'm a bit with Bozza. Bozza. But it's not a bad thing to have a little wager on Port this week, so that if the unthinkable does occur, and we're not straight sets, Kenny, well then we're a bit brighter on a Sunday morning or the Friday morning. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that Houston not being able to play is just going to impact them severely.
Yeah. Farrell out too is
And
a
Farrell,
reasonable
yeah.
loss. So, yeah.
Some big ball users.
So they brought Dixon back. Dixon and
Limpy Dix.
and the guy from Geelong, what was his name? Narkle.
Yeah. So Marshall didn't get picked.
He's in the emergencies. Yes.
Well.
Well.
All right, Ben, before we wrap this show up, you better give us your AFL fantasy wrap up.
All right. So that came as quite a surprise. So I better find where that is. So
I just quickly said it so Sam can't say no.
So the winner of the grand final, team name Jordan Dawson is dad. That was Jaden. Took the chocolates.
Jaden, well done.
I think he beat Fogg's Dogs, who coincidentally was our highest ranked team in the league at 2,243. So there you go. How about that?
So we need to find a prize.
Yes.
Do we?
For Jaden? Yeah, we've always said that. It's just that Ben's always won, so we've never had to do it.
Never had to worry about it.
Well, we can get a Crows merch pack or something.
Yeah, we might have to
Crow
get
merch
some
pack.
shirt.
Sorry, not a Crows merch one.
Yeah.
Although the Crows merch is 50% off at the show this week, so maybe we could.
I saw that.
Maybe we could
They're
get.
just ditching all the old logo shit.
Yep. Get it out of there.
Anyone get a round 1 victory in the AFLW fantasy?
Me.
Nice.
I'm actually 4th on the ladder, thanks very much.
Very good.
My team is arse.
And I had Bonnie Toogood in my team,
Yeah, I
so
did.
suffered.
Oh, yeah, so did I.
Had a nice 5 from her as well. Yep.
There's been a couple of stars of the AFLW now season over.
Yeah.
Taylor Harris.
Yeah.
It's shocking.
So has her shoulder's been
Yeah.
confirmed pretty bad?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, right. So,
Yeah, no good for Bonnie. So, I mean,
yeah, so
Knock on
you
wood,
are,
nothing
you're
happens at the
fourth,
Crows.
I'm seventh, and Dan and Sam are, they're having a go.
All right.
I am going to live this up. Fourth on the ladder. Thank you.
Oh, even I would have beaten the person that you beat, Lauren. My team's shit.
Oh, come on.
All right, let me wrap this up. We done? Is that it?
We're done. Steve, Digger,
Yes.
thank you so much for coming in and chatting the women's and club culture with us. Really appreciate it. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find One Club Culture on Instagram, and I did want to promote a video that I put up, or a reel, I think they call it, young people.
Oh,
reel.
yes, a reel, yes.
A reel that I put on One Club Culture on Instagram the other day, and it was rugby related. And so far, it's had 147,000 plays. Would you believe?
Jesus, from your account.
From my One Club Culture.
Jeez.
And it's about the 2019 South African World Cup team. And what they decided to do was they said to their players, we're going to insert your family members and those dearest to you into your number on the back of your jumper. So the faces of those loved ones would be on your number.
Yeah.
So people came in and they sort of brought in 20 photos and had them lined up. And there was a guy, his surname's Mapimpi, and he came along and he gave them a photo of himself. And everyone was taking the piss out of him. God, he's got a big head and all that sort of stuff. And so his coach, Razzie Erasmus, called him out in front of the whole group and said, geez, you're full of yourself. Only bring along a photo of yourself. And he said, I don't have anyone else. So his mother had died, his father had died, and his brother had died. And it's a incredible piece because the coach is telling the story and he's sobbing.
Aww.
And in the end, the Pimpy scored a try in the World Cup final and they won the game. Unbelievable. So if you want to bump that up by another 4 people,
We'll repost. We'll do a repost.
Skyrocket after this.
go to One Club Culture on Instagram and you'll find it there.
And
But,
you're on the X as well.
I am on the X, but
You're dabbling in the
I've
X?
only got about 10 followers on there, so I'd
Yeah,
rather
well-
you go to Instagram.
Oh,
You
well,
should
we
have
can pump
spoke
up
your
the
stuff
followers.
before Ben's fantasy segment where everyone tuned out.
Yeah, everyone's got on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, no worries. I do what I can.
All right. Well,
So,
thank
no, absolute pleasure.
thank
very
you,
much.
Yeah, thanks,
and
Digger.
come anytime. We'd love to have you. Thanks for the sausage rolls as well, which there's still plenty of, so we'll be shoving them in our face. Thanks, boys.
All the best.
Thanks, Lauren.
Now-
Thanks, Lauren.
Not sure if we mentioned this on the last episode, but we are going to be doing fortnightly pods.
unless shit hits the
Unless
fan.
something happens, we'll be doing a Sensible Crow style emergency pod.
Yeah.
But on that, actually, Sensible Crow, you would have seen he released an episode this week, and he's got 2 more before he joins us next year. So make sure you tune in to
Yeah,
Sensible.
go
You
and
picked
listen
him up
to
in the
that.
draft.
Yeah, we have picked him up in the draft. Top number 1 draft pick.
Yep.
We had
So
a fair bit
get
of
around it.
cap space available.
Yeah. Fair bit. So we will see you in a couple of weeks, and Dan will be back. And
Maybe.
yeah. Well, yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. Be good.
Are you firing him?
Nah, it's good.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time.
Bye.
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 All the best.
All the best.